Hello students, this is Mr. Damiani, and today we are going to be looking at lesson 8.8 on page 465 in your math workbook, so make sure you're on the correct page there. The topic for today's lesson is going to be solutions of inequalities. Alright, so we're going to be introducing some new vocabulary, but you're going to find a lot of similarities between inequalities and equations. The essential question for today: how do you determine whether a number is a solution of an inequality? And I will tell you right now that the process is going to be pretty much the same as that we used for determining if a number is a solution to an equation, where you substitute in, maybe you have to do a calculation and compare both sides. So let's get into the vocabulary here. What is an inequality? An inequality is a mathematical sentence that compares two expressions using the symbols less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or not equal. These are examples of inequalities. So these are the new symbols. Now, we have used already, I believe in the past, the less than and the greater than symbol. I have shown my group, at least, and I think Ms. Dubé has done the same, the slash through the equal sign here. So the new symbols that are going to be introduced are this less than or equal to and greater than or equal to symbol, where you have a line underneath the less than symbol, which represents the equal to piece, and then you have a line underneath the greater than symbol, which represents the equal to piece. So these are the new, those are the new symbols. So let's look down here at a couple of our examples. 8 is less than 11. Then you have 9 is greater than negative 4. A is less than or equal to 50. And X is greater than or equal to 3.2. So let's use this as a quick example here. Talk about this one for a second. So if I'm trying to think of some values that would make this inequality statement true, I would want to find any number that is less than or equal to 50. So, since it has the equal to piece, 50 would make this a true statement because 50 is equal to 50. 49 would make this a true statement because 49 is less than. 48 would be true. 47 would be true, on forever and ever. Because anything that is less than that 50 also makes it true. So those are all potential solutions for that inequality. So let's go down here. A solution of an inequality is a value, so that's a number, of a variable that makes the inequality true. Inequalities can have more than one solution. Equations can only have one solution. Inequalities can have more than one solution, just like I showed you up here with the 50, the 49, the 48, and the 47. So equations have one solution. Inequalities have multiple or more than one solution. All right, let's go ahead and slide down to the unlocked a problem here. Please follow along as I read. A library has books from the Middle Ages. The books are more than 650 years old. The inequality A is greater than 650 represents the possible ages, A, in years of the books. Determine whether A equals 678 or A equals 634 is a solution of the inequality, and tell what the solution means. All right, so we're going to take care of the 678 first. So always start by substituting into the inequality statement to determine if it is a solution. So the first step, let's write the inequality. This is already written for you. A is greater than 650. Now we are going to substitute 678 in for A. So 678 is greater than 650. Is this true? Well, 678 is greater than 650. The inequality is true, so this is a solution. Let's go ahead and try the 634. Again, we start by writing the inequality. Then we substitute into the inequality with the 634. is 634 greater than 650? And in this case, it is not. So 634 is not greater than 650. Oh, and excuse me, please, if I sound a little bit stuffy. I definitely have a cold lately. So I'm working hard to get over it, so don't worry about me. The inequality is not true. There we go. When A equals 634, so A equals 634 is not a solution. Okay? The solution A equals 678 means that a book in the library from the Middle Ages could be 678 years old. There would not be a book in there that would be 634 years old because that is not a solution. All right, go ahead and turn the page for me, please, to 466. All right, thanks for getting that set up here. We're going to go ahead and get into example 1. Let's read the directions. Determine whether the given value of the variable is a solution of the inequality. So we are given b is less than 0.3 as our inequality, and we are given b equals a negative 0.2. So we want to start by first writing the inequality, which is provided. And now we're going to substitute our value in of this negative 0.2, okay? And we have to compare the values. So we are comparing decimals here, so this can be a challenge. And we have positives and negatives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch a quick number line here. This is going to help me organize my values. I'm going to put a 0 in the middle, and I know that I would have a positive 1 over here, and I'd have a negative 1 over here. So go ahead and get that number line set up. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to estimate where the 0.3 falls. And I'm going to say 0.3 would be just under halfway, so it'd be right about there. And then the negative 0.2 would also be under halfway, but it'd be to the left of the 0 here. So that's that negative 0.2. This is the 0.3. So negative 0.2 is on the left on the number line of the 0.3. So that means that negative 0.2 is less than 0.3. So the inequality is true when b equals negative 0.2. So b equals negative 0.2 is a solution. All right, so that was us setting up a number line to just keep the placement of the decimal points and because of the integer work. So number line is a good strategy to get that organized. Let's go down to the part B here. We now have the inequality of m is greater than or equal to 2/3. Possible solution here is m is equal to 3/5. So we want to go ahead and write the inequality. M is greater than or equal to 2/3. We're going to substitute in, so I'm going to go ahead and substitute in my 3/5. So the question becomes, is 3/5 greater than or equal to 2/3? So we have fractions. We have a couple ways of going about doing business here. We can rewrite the fractions using a common denominator. So I got some space to work here. So if we see that we have a common denominator of 15, because both 3 and 5 go into 15, what I'm doing now is I'm finding my equivalent fractions. So 2/3 multiplied by 5 gives me 10/15. I'm going to write that over here. And 3/5 multiplied by 3 gives me 9/15. I'm going to write that over here. All right, so I'm comparing 9/15 with 10/15 because those are equivalent values. And in this case, 9/15 is not greater than 10/15. Okay, so the inequality is not true when m equals 3/5. So m equals 3/5 is not a solution. Now I told you we had a couple ways to go about our business. Finding a common denominator and setting up equivalent fractions, which is what this is up here, is a good way to go about it. Another way to go about it, though, you can cross multiply. I'm just refreshing memories here. You can cross multiply here to determine which side is bigger. Now you'll notice that I have a 10 on one side and a 9 on the other. The side with the 9, the 3/5, is less than the side with the 10, the 2/3. So that's another way to compare your fractions. You could also change them into decimal values. For 3/5, you're going to get 0.6, and you're going to get 0.6 repeating for the 2/3. So again, you can compare that and see that 0.6 is not greater than 0.6 repeating. So you have 3 different ways to really compare those fractions, and it is going to be up to you to decide which way you are comfortable using. Let's go ahead and scroll down to example 2 here. And we will, you'll take it one step further, and then you're going to get to work on some of these problems on your own. An airplane can hold no more than 416 passengers. The inequality of P is less than or equal to 416 represents the possible number of passengers P on the airplane. So P cannot be greater than 416 because the plane can only hold 416. But it could hold 412, 410, less than, just like any plane. They don't always fill up. So P is a whole number. You're not going to have half a passenger. Give 2 solutions of the inequality and tell what the solution means. All right, so think. The solutions of the inequality are whole numbers, and these whole numbers must be less than or equal to the 416. Because you can't have more than 416 passengers on a plane. You just don't have enough seats. So in this case, you want to be less than 416. P equals 200 is a solution because 200 is less than 416. Okay. So let's come up with our own solution. Let's say 250. So you can have 250s on the plane, 250 passengers on the plane, because that is less than the 416. So because 250 is less than 416. These solutions mean that the number of passengers on the plane could be 200 or 250. It could also be some other value. You could have 416 passengers on that plane. You could have 400 passengers on that plane. But you could not have 417 passengers on that plane. All right, so go ahead and turn the page, please. Let's look at page 467. I'm going to give you a couple questions to work out on your own. And then we will check these in class tomorrow. Okay, so actually, why don't you go ahead and pause the video for me real quick and go ahead and answer question 1 and question 2. And I will double check these with you before I assign some independent work. All right, thanks for taking the time here. And I'm just going to write in the answers here. So what I would write in here is that -3 is greater than or equal to -6, and this is a solution. So we can write that in there. Yes would also be okay to write. Over here, the answer is no. What I would do is I would substitute in 8 is less than 7.8, and that is not true. So that is not a solution. You notice how I did substitute in here. Okay, please go ahead and circle questions 3 and question 4. Get those done independently. Have those ready to go for class tomorrow. And my students, remember, you must have a post-it note with a main idea from the video lesson. And we will use those as part of our group work tomorrow. So thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Again, easier type concept. However, we are introducing some new vocabulary. So as always, write down any type of questions that you have on a post note as well. I'd like to thank you for watching the video and have a great evening, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Goodbye.